My name is Shane, and my partner's name is Evan, and we'll be explaining electron configuration. Starting off with orbital diagrams, I'll be using nitrogen as one of my examples. There are two ways to write orbital diagrams, this one personally being easier to write than this one. The arrows indicate positive, arrows pointing up, and negative, arrows pointing down. There are certain rules and principles that you must follow when writing these orbital diagrams, being the Aufbau principle, which is where electrons occupy the lowest orbitals first, the Pauli exclusion principle, where only 2 electrons can occupy an orbital, and Hund's rule, where every orbital is singly occupied with 1 electron before any one orbital is doubly occupied, and all electrons in singly occupied orbitals have the same spin. Alright, so here are blocks S, P, D, and F. S has 1 orbital, P has 3 orbitals, D has 5 orbitals, and F has 7 orbitals. And each orbital can only hold a maximum of 2 electrons. The S sublevel takes the shape of a sphere, and the p orbital takes the shape of a dumbbell.
Alright, so today I'll be explaining how to do the electron configuration shorthand and longhand writing. In order to do that, first we must learn about the different blocks in the periodic table that I have highlighted in different colors. So first is the S block, which is the ones covered in orange, and including this one all the way over here in the right corner, top right corner. The D block, which is covered in yellow, the P block that's covered in blue, and the F block that's covered in green. And in order to get to our element, like let's say if we want to go to nitrogen, we would go from left to right in the rows, going from top to bottom. So we would go and do 1s2 because there's 2 of them in the row for S block, 2s2 because there's 2 of them in this row for the S block, and then 2p3 because we're only going to nitrogen and not neon. And in order to do the longhand configuration, we would be able to go from one of these noble gases right here in the end of the row. And so let's say if we want to go to sulfur, we would go from neon, the neon noble gas, and we would write neon in brackets, and then we would go back to here, and then we would go to and say 3s2 and then 3p4 because we're only going to sulfur, and that's it.